Thank you, Tarif. We are going to bring in Coach Red Pill. Coach Red Pill, bringing you into the stream.
Hey, gentlemen. How's it going? I hope you can hear me all right.
Yes. How are you doing, Coach Red Pill? Good to have you here.
It's a pleasure being here. And I just want to start out by saying that I love you guys' programs, both on the Duran and your individual channels. And I hope I don't sound like I'm just, bootlicking, but I have to say that you guys have the best geopolitical analysis on YouTube. And it's a real pleasure and an education to listen to your broadcast. So I just want to put that out there. And I also want to say that I like your stuff so much that I would like to have you on my channel to have a broad-ranging conversation whenever is convenient for you guys.
That'd be great.
And we have a very special guest. We have the one and only Coach from the Coach Red Pill channel. CRP is the channel. Coach, tell people where they can find you. And I am going to put all your links down below in the description box as well. Tell them where they can find your YouTube channel, your Patreon, social media, everything. Let people know.
Sure. I'm on YouTube. The YouTube channel is Coach Red Pill. And my name, of course, is Gonzalo Lira, as you can see by my slug line below. And I run the Coach Red Pill channel on YouTube. And I also have a Coach Red Pill channel on Patreon, which, because it's not safe for work, because it's where I put all the stuff that would get me banned from YouTube, you actually have to go to one of the links that I post regularly on my main channel. So just go there. I think it's patreon.com/CoachRedPill, all one word. But you can find the link for sure at my main channel. And yeah, thank you very much, gentlemen, for having me on. It's a pleasure, as always, to talk to you.
We're live, everybody. Alexander, how are you doing? And we have a special guest, Mr. Gonzalo Lira from the CRP channel. Alexander, Gonzalo, how are you guys doing today?
Well, I'm doing absolutely great and really excited to have Gonzalo with us again today.
Gonzalo,
I'm delighted to be here, as always. And to tell you the truth, I'm slightly embarrassed because, you know, you guys are big brains and I'm just some moron in Ukraine. And you guys are fool enough to have me on. So I guess I'm just going to have to inflict my idiocy on you guys. So,
Gonzalo, well, thank you for calling us big brains, but can I just say you are a giant one, and it is a huge
your check is in the mail. Your check is in the mail. Yeah, you can find me at my Patreon channel. If you go to Patreon and search for me, you won't find me because I'm considered not safe for work because I say things that the powers that be don't really like. So you have to go to patreon.com/CoachRedPill, all one word. And on Telegram, my channel is called Real CRP, and I couldn't get the Coach Red Pill because somebody squatted on the name, so it's Real CRP on Telegram. And yeah, we're closing in on 4,000 subscribers on Telegram, and I've only had the channel really running for the last couple of months, so it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, it's great to be a netizen, an online person. Although, from what I understand in Australia, that won't be continuing for very long.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
This is my video update on this Saturday early morning, January the 13th. Let's talk about some news. And this will be a bit of a different video. I'm not going to talk so much about news, but what I will do, at least in the first part of this video, is talk about Gonzalo Lira. By now, I'm sure everyone has heard the news that Gonzalo Lira passed away. Yesterday, I got an email from his father. He sent out an email to a certain amount of people on a list that he has. And he let us know that his son had passed away while being held by the Zelensky regime in a prison. And he was in bad shape, suffering from pneumonia and other serious health issues. We did a show last week. I believe it was published on Wednesday of last week with his father. Gonzalo Lira Sr. And Gonzalo Lira Sr., he pleaded with the State Department and the Biden White House to just make the call to release his son, because the State Department and the Biden White House, they absolutely had the power with one phone call, 1 minute of their time to call up the Zelensky regime and to secure the release of their citizen, an American citizen, who had been held by the Zelensky regime for about 8 to 9 months. And they never made that call. And they allowed an American citizen to die at the hands of the Ukrainian government. Think about that for a minute. The United States of America, the Biden White House, the U.S. State Department, with one phone call, had the power to secure the release of this U.S. citizen, and they did not do it. It's amazing. It really is amazing when you think about it. What's become of the United States? What's become of this country that once upon a time protected its citizens, and especially its journalists? An American journalist being held in a country that they control from top to bottom, and they would not secure the release of this American journalist, being held for exercising his free speech. Anyway, you guys know the story, and you know what happened with the circumstances surrounding Gonzalo Lira and the power that the Biden White House had to get him released, and the power that they refused to exercise. Anyway, so yeah, his father sent the email. My time, it was early afternoon that I got the email, and then later on in the evening, the news came out that Gonzalo had been killed. His father was very upset in the email that he sent out. Obviously, very upset. He blames the Zelensky regime, the Ukraine government, and he sent multiple emails to the U.S. State Department. Guys, I mean, I would be included on these lists that he would send out. Multiple emails begging for the U.S. State Department to help get his son released. I mean, his father, Gonzalo Lira Sr., he was emailing every other day, it seemed. Every other day, every week, begging the State Department to help his son. But, yeah, the news came out about Gonzalo. There was a note that was published, a handwritten note from Gonzalo. Actually, his father read that note during the live stream that we did with Gonzalo Lira Sr. That was the note that Gonzalo Lira Sr. read out during that live stream that's been posted now on social media. And it explains Gonzalo's terrible condition, the health of Gonzalo Lira and his pneumonia, and from what I understand, a type of collapsed lung, and the surgery that he was going to need, and his shortness of breath. And yeah. So you know, in 2021. In 2021, we were doing a live stream, me and Alexander, and we would have these these call-in shows. We tried out this call-in format for a while, and we couldn't keep up with the call-in format because the live shows would run like 4, 5, 6 hours. People that have been watching the channel for a while, I don't know if you guys remember the call-in shows, but they would run for like 5. I think one show actually ran for like 5.5 hours, and they were long. They were long shows, but we tried it out, and it was a success. It was fun to have people that viewed the channel call in and give their opinions and their insight and their analysis. And so in 2021, the summer of 2021, we were doing a call-in show, and I think about like a week or two before that call-in show, we just did a regular live, and there was a comment in the chat from CRP, Coach Red Pill. And I had heard of that channel because it was a fairly big channel. It had something like 300,000, 350,000 subscribers, and it dealt with social issues and men's social issues and stuff like that. So it popped up in the chat, and CRP left some comments in the live stream. And then we did the call-in show about like a week or two later, and CRP called in, Coach Red Pill. And he joined us for 5 minutes on that stream, and he gave us his thoughts as to some geopolitical issues. And he invited us to do a collaboration. He said, "I watch you guys all the time, and it would be great if you know, we did a collaboration. Maybe you guys can come on my channel." And I invited him on to our channel. I said, I'll give you my email, and we can set it up. And we set it up. About a month later, month and a half later, we did a show together. Not a live show. We did a recorded show together. I think that was the first Gonzalo Lira geopolitics show that he did, to be honest. And yeah, it was like an hour and 40 minutes. We recorded the show. We talked about a lot of issues, from China to Ukraine to I think we discussed the jab, I believe, and everything that was going on around there, censorship and lockdowns, the leadership of the collective West. I vaguely remember the show, but we talked for like an hour and 45 minutes, and we got along great. You know, we talked about things and made some predictions about what's going on in the world. Some things you get right, some things you get wrong. We talked about the leadership and the collective West, and the lack of leadership in the collective West, and yeah. And then after that, we started to do live streams with Coach Red Pill, Gonzalo Lira at the time. And that's when Gonzalo, he started to move away from his Coach Red Pill channel, and he started to focus more on geopolitics and finance and stuff like that. And he was successful. He was successful in both niches, in both genres of content creation. So he had a successful channel that he was running, which was dealing with men's issues and social issues and stuff like that. And then he moved over to the geopolitics, and he was successful there as well. And that's tough. That's a hard thing to do. But we started to do the live streams, and then he got arrested in Ukraine, the first arrest. And I remember he disappeared for a week that first time. And I'll give you guys a little backstory to that. So he disappeared for about a week. And I was in Nicosia at the time. And it was on a Friday. in April of 2022. And I woke up in the morning. I think it was like a Friday or Saturday, maybe a Saturday. But I woke up in the morning and I went to a cafe that I usually go to when I'm in Nicosia. I was just doing some work. And I was just about to leave, like 30 minutes and I was out. And I get this email that pops up. And the email says on the title, now Gonzalo's been missing for a week, and there are a lot of rumors about what happened to Gonzalo. And no one knows. No one knew. We didn't know. And I get an email, and the title says, "It's Gonzalo." That's just the title. And I'm like, okay, I've been getting a lot of fake emails as well about, you know, it's Gonzalo, or I know where Gonzalo is, and all these things. So the title says it's Gonzalo, and I open it up, and I actually have the email here saved. And it says Alex, exclamation. I can prove it's me. And then he tells me some stuff that only me, him, and Alexander would know. And he said, I'm okay. I'm just now able to connect to people. And he just tells me his situation in the rest of the email. And he's like, tell everybody that I'm okay. He says I'm physically okay, mentally in pretty good shape, I think. And he says, please send me a confirmation reply that you got this email as soon as you get it. It doesn't have to be long. I just want to make sure that my emails are going out from this computer. And he's like, set up a video call, a StreamYard link, so we can chat. And you can see that it's me. And I replied to him. And I told him, look, in 20 minutes, let's get on StreamYard. I'll create the private link on StreamYard. If you don't know what StreamYard is, it's what a lot of content creators use. It's browser-based, so you don't have to download anything. It's what content creators use, a popular platform to live stream. And you can create private rooms or create public live stream feeds from StreamYard, and you can stream out to various platforms. Anyway, I created this link, and we got on, and it was Gonzalo. After a week, missing for a week, there he was. And later on in that day, we decided to do a 5-minute video, and he let everyone know that he was okay. He sent me all the documents, the 8 pages of documents of his arrest. So when everyone was saying it wasn't legit or his disappearance wasn't legit, I had all the documents signed by 8 officials in the Ukraine, SBU, and the police. And I'm very familiar with these types of documents because it's very similar to the type of government documents that you get in Greece as well. When you're dealing with the bureaucracy, they have all the stamps everywhere. People that live in Greece or Eastern Europe or Russia, you know what I mean. When you see government papers and documents, a lot of signatures, a lot of different stamps, and I mean, you know the format. So I was like, okay, this is legit. And anyway, he sent me those documents, and then we broadcast for 5 minutes to let everyone know he was okay. We did a live stream for 5 minutes, and then we did another show with Alexander later in the day. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. I guess maybe it's just some insider information. And then Gonzalo and the Duran and me, Alexander, many shows with Brian Berletic from the New Atlas as well. We would do many live streams, many shows. And we had a policy with Gonzalo at the Duran. Whenever we would do a live stream, we would always send Gonzalo the link to join us on the live stream, because every now and then he would send me an email, and he would just send a message like, are you guys going to do a live show this week? It's pretty lonely here. I just want to reach out to someone. I just want to talk with some people. And if you do a live stream, it'd be great to connect with viewers, and let me know. And I'd love to just join you guys. So every live stream, we would send him a link, and it was just an open invitation If you would like to join us on this live stream, jump on in. You're always welcome. And that's what we would do with Gonzalo. We'd send him the link, and if he was available to join, he would join. And, you know, it made him happy. It always made him happy to just talk to people, to just connect and reach out and talk and get his mind off of all the issues that were going on while he was in Kharkov. And he was in Kharkov because he wanted to be close to his children. We would talk after live streams every now and then. We'd stay on and talk for like 5 or 10 minutes. And I can tell you this. He really loved his children. I mean, really, really loved his children. That's what he would talk about after the shows. How much he loved his children. That was pretty much the topic. We would stop talking politics. Alexander would talk about, you know, his children and what it's like being a new father, and then Gonzalo would just talk for 10, 20, 30 minutes about how great it is to be a parent and his children and how much he loves his children. And that's what we would talk about after we did a live stream, to be honest. And yeah, that's it. All right, let's just talk about some topics in the news. Rest in peace, Gonzalo. And you will be missed. So, I've got some news topics in no specific order. I'm not very well prepared today, to be quite honest. But I'll just read through some of these bookmarks that I have, and just to keep everyone updated on the craziness of the world. Let's see here. The ECB chief Lagarde, she says that Trump is a threat to Europe. Interesting comment from Christine Lagarde. Let me find her quote here. If we draw lessons from history, by which I mean to say the manner in which he, Trump, carried out the first 4 years of his mandate, it is clearly a threat. That's what Lagarde said, Christine Lagarde. For which I say the real threat to Europe is Christine Lagarde, not Trump. So, yeah. We had more strikes from what I read. The Biden White House, they sent some more missiles into Yemen. It's what I talked about yesterday. It's not going to deter Yemen or the Houthis. These strikes from the U.S. are not going to do much of anything for Yemen or the Houthis. We're talking about some very battle-ready, battle-hardened people that the U.S. is trying to intimidate. It's not going to work. But the Biden White House is going to have to continue to escalate because he's trapped now. They have no choice. In order to save face and not look weak, they're going to have to continue to escalate with Yemen. And on the other side, you have the neocons who are going to be pushing them to escalate with Yemen in order to get a conflict with Iran. So once again, Biden's foreign policy has boxed in the United States and the UK, because the UK just seems to follow the United States into any misguided adventure they move towards. And so, you know, they're going to be bogged down now in the Middle East. I don't see how they can get an off-ramp now. But that's the situation in Yemen. And, they can't stop. The Biden White House can't stop. I was reading this morning that they're now going to be sending javelins, I believe, to Kosovo, the breakaway province of Kosovo. I read something like that in my Twitter feed. I didn't have much time to really get into it. But this is a huge escalation. They're now starting to arm Kosovo, obviously, to antagonize Serbia. They just can't stop, man. An out of control White House. An out of control White House that's really its entire foreign policy is now just based on escalation, war, intimidation. There's no strategy. There's no thinking. There's no diplomacy. It's just none of that. It's just brutal. It's a hammer and everything is a freaking nail. That's the Biden White House foreign policy, and it's going to lead the U.S. to a catastrophic situation. This is not going to end well for the U.S. this type of policy. But you know, we have a year left of Biden, so maybe we can make it through the year and something better can come along. What else here? There's going to be protests tomorrow in Cyprus against the British base that they have here, where they're launching airstrikes against Yemen. So, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's my imagination. I really don't. Maybe I'm imagining this, but I can hear in the mornings. I feel like I can hear the planes, the fighter jets, the military activity. I don't know. Maybe it's in my head, but it's in Cyprus, and they're launching a lot of attacks from the base in Cyprus, and they're going to be protesting that base because there really shouldn't be a British base, to be quite honest. That British base needs to go, and it needs to be returned to the people of Cyprus. But that's just my opinion. And what else? Sunak was in Kiev. So Sunak is launching a war against Yemen. And what does he do? He commits the UK. This guy, who really isn't elected, he really isn't an elected prime minister. Am I right? People watching in the UK, he's not an elected prime minister. But anyway, he decides to start bombing Yemen. And as he's bombing Yemen, this guy, Sunak, this freaking guy decides to travel to Kiev and give the Zelensky regime 2.5 billion pounds. And he's going to give them all kinds of drones and air defense. And he made all kinds of statements. I think I even bookmarked one of the statements. Let me see. I don't even know if it's worth reading at this point because it's just such nonsense. Yeah, Sunak was in Kiev. He said Ukraine is not alone and Ukraine will never be alone. Putin might think that he can outlast us, but he is wrong. We stand with you today, tomorrow, for as long as it takes. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're going to outlast Putin for as long as it takes, and Russia thinks they can outlast us, but they can't outlast us. We can outlast you longer. This is like some sort of pissing contest that they've imagined in their head, right? It's like 15-year-old boys that would have these little... when you were a teenager, you'd have these pissing contests and see who's cooler and who's tougher and and who can piss longer. I mean, these freaking leaders are children, man. They really are children. We're going to outlast the Russians. How are you going to outlast the Russians, you malaka? How are you going to outlast the Russians? Really? The UK, you're going to outlast the Russians? Is that what you're trying to sell everyone on, Sunak? Yeah, Sunak's going to outsmart Putin. Lavrov, Zakharova, Medvedev. Give me a break, man. Give me a freaking break. Anyway, that's the UK continuing to escalate. And, you know, I said this yesterday, the UK is in no position now to escalate. They really should be careful. The UK is starting to open up a lot of different fronts. They're opening up a lot of different fronts now. And they really shouldn't be opening up a lot of different fronts. This is not what the UK should be doing. What Sunak should be doing is he should be giving that 2.5 billion pounds to the people of Britain, not to the Zelensky regime. And he shouldn't be bombing Yemen. That's the last thing UK needs right now. Anyway, it's starting to rain here. So let me wrap this up. Medvedev, by the way, he said that any UK troops in Ukraine would be considered an act of war because Sunak is talking about security guarantees and stuff like that. He's going to provide Ukraine with security guarantees. Yeah, okay. Whatever, man. Anyway, that was Medvedev. his comments. And one more story. I'm not going to do a clown world today, and now the rain's coming down hard. One more story is it looks like the EU is moving towards a deal with Hungary so that Hungary can approve the 50 billion euros. And it looks like that deal is going to be what I talked about a week ago. They'll allow Hungary to opt out of giving money to Ukraine as long as Hungary votes yes for the 50 billion. Anyway, everybody, that is the video. The Duran got locals. Duran merch. This is also Duran merch. I'll explain this hat another day. That's the video, everyone. Take care.
That's the real question. Understand what's going on.